Recently, we heard about Joe Biden vetting Amy Klobuchar for VP. This woman is not fit for any office. Back when Amy Klobuchar was the DA and she had her tough on crime policy in place where mainly Black people were getting arrested the whole time she was the DA between 1999 and 2007. Chauvin had murdered back then, and Amy Klobuchar let him off the hook. She has a record of never prosecuting a single cop for murdering Black citizens between 1999 and 2007. Not one cop was punished on her watch. Not one. But let that sink in. Joe Biden wants this same person to be his VP. Let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. As chief prosecutor, Klobuchar declined to bring charges against cop that killed George Floyd. The latest example of America's racist police brutality problem was caught on camera in Minneapolis Monday as Officer Derek Chauvin knelt on 46-year-old African-American George Floyd's neck for over 7 minutes until he passed out and died. In the headline on its web, Minneapolis police described the event as man dies after medical incident during police interaction, which is a straight up lie. He died on the streets in Minneapolis at the hands of 4 police officers that did zero to help him. Instead, they decided to murder him. And they also had in the police report that he was resisting. And when you go back and look at them take him out of the car, there was not 1 ounce of resisting. So these cops just lied their ass off all the way around, like they always do. Laundering themselves of any responsibility. So they used the medical incident, ladies and gentlemen, to get off the hook for the murder of George Floyd. So they tried their best to get out of any responsibility for murdering a man on camera. Chauvin continued his assault even as Floyd desperately pleaded that he could not breathe while bystanders protested his brutality. "You're fucking stopping his breathing there, bro," warned one concerned passerby. Even after passing out, Chauvin did not release pressure on his neck. Chauvin has killed multiple times before while in uniform, has shot and wounded others, and is well known to local activist groups. So this man has been menacing for a long time on the police force, plus he killed multiple people in different incidents. And some of those murders occurred while Amy Klobuchar was the DA. Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar, who Joe Biden recently asked to undergo vetting to be his running mate for November, issued a very tepid statement about the incident, describing the police killing of an unarmed Black man over an alleged forged check as merely an officer-involved death. Uh-huh. That's it, Amy Klobuchar? That's all we got from you on this? That's it? Mm-mm-mm. This woman is pathetic. Klobuchar also called for a complete and thorough outside investigation. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so she called for an outside investigation into what occurred, and those involved in this incident must be held accountable. However, this is unlikely to occur in no small part because of Klobuchar herself and the president she set while serving as the state chief prosecutor between 1999 and 2007. This woman's track record was to never punish a cop for any killing, for any complaint. She ignored it all. In that same time, she declined to bring charges against more than dozen officers who had killed citizens while on duty, including against Chauvin himself, who shot and killed Wayne Reyes in 2006 and would later go on to shoot more civilians while in uniform. So this guy is just a straight up cold blooded killer. At the same time, however, Klobuchar was ramping up the number of arrests as part of her tough on crime agenda, something which inordinately affected people of color. So that's who she was rounding up between 1999 and 2007. She targeted the Black and brown community the whole time she was the DA. That's all she did. In her first year in office alone, the prison sentences for first degree drug crimes doubled. Activists allege her embracing of the broken window style policing was a deliberate strategy to win support in the white suburbs of Minneapolis, to the detriment of the city's non Black community, bolstering her success. Run for Senate in 2006 in a case point of, I think this was the Salam, I believe that was the name of the man that was convicted and placed in jail. El said Salam. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the one that I believe was wrongly convicted, and she would not acknowledge it. You know, this was put back in her face recently, and it was around the time when she dropped out of the race. There was a teenager that went to jail for a crime they did not commit, and Klobuchar would do absolutely nothing to get this teenager out of jail. He sat in jail for years because of Amy Klobuchar. A judge sentenced Salam to 364 days in jail, deliberately attempting to protect him from deportation and keeping his sentence under a year, which downgraded the case from a felony to a gross misdemeanor. And outraged Klobuchar appealed the decision, lobbying for an upgrade and condemning the state judges for letting offenders off the hook too easily. This is what she did. Amy Klobuchar fought to keep Black and brown people in jail with long sentences, and these are non-violent drug crimes. No, this is actually a different guy, not the teen that she put in jail for a crime he didn't commit. So this Salim, he was eventually deported. While it may not be the first city that comes to mind, data shows that Minneapolis is among the most racist cities in the US for racial profiling and police stops. The police force own data shows that while Black people make up only 18% of the population, they were involved in nearly half of all police stops. Conversely, whites made up 60% of the population, but the figured in less than 21% of the stops. 62% of body searches and 63% of people's cars who were searched were Black. This happened on Amy Klobuchar's watch, y'all. Thus, Floyd killing is merely a viral example of a wider phenomena, a spark that ignited a powder keg of resentment that had been building for some time. I agree with that. I agree with that. Sometimes you don't know how bad some of these cities are until an incident kind of pulled the band-aid off, just like George Floyd. His murder is actually pulling the band-aid off of a lot of things about Minneapolis. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, massive protests have erupted across Minneapolis in response to Floyd's killing, with thousands of people marching through the city. Police attempted to suppress the demonstration last night, firing rubber bullets, tear gas, and stun grenades, even though there were many children present. Obviously, they don't give a damn about the citizens. This is a disgusting display. And City Council Jeremiah Ellison, I'm here on the South Side helping people as I can with milk, water, and towels. So far, I have been unable to prevent the police from firing indiscriminately into the crowd. Moments ago, I held a towel to a teenage girl's head as blood poured from it. Thus, it appears that Klobuchar's response was out keeping with those she represented. So, in other words, she came out with a statement, but she made the statement lukewarm so she doesn't upset her white constituents. Okay, and the public is more generally judging by the replies left below, which included, "This was a murder, plain and simple. The police needed to be arrested today." Exactly. How the hell do you fire these cops and let them go home? You know damn well if an ordinary citizen had killed George Floyd, you would have hauled them off to jail immediately. But see, this just goes to show you cops are above the law. When they kill, they get desk duty or terminated. We're citizens. They grab them up and jail them. A whole different set of rules for cops and even former cops. If you remember, even with Amber Geiger, after they fired her, they still coddled that girl. And they wouldn't even tell you where she was. We didn't even know where the hell she was after she moved out of the South Side flats. They kept her well hidden. This cop is a murderer. And the other cops is an accessory to murder. The incident was also top story on Reddit and Twitter on Tuesday and Wednesday morning. Other public officials denounced the killing far more forcefully. Melvin Carter, mayor of St. Paul, said the video was one of the most vile and heartbreaking images I've ever seen, adding that the officer who stood guard is just as responsible as his partner. Both must be fully accountable. Ilhan Omar, an African American congresswoman representing the city, claimed that watching a Black man helplessly begging for his life sickened her. Black Lives Matter isn't just a chant, it's a call for justice. It's a call for humanity to be recognized, she said. There needs to be an immediate DOJ investigation into this. And actually, there is. It was given to the DOJ by the mayor of the city to do a full investigation. But with William Barr there, I don't have a lot of confidence in William Barr at all. Feature photos, protesters gathered in Minnesota police third precinct during a gathering on May 26, 2020, in response to the police murder of George Floyd. Okay. You know, this is some sick mess. So, ladies and gentlemen, now you know how long Derek Chauvin has been on the force. He's been there for 19 years. And in that 19-year period, he's killed 4 people. He's been charged with police brutality, I think 12 times. This man is a complete pig. He should have never been on the police force in the first place. He just murdered. He's like a mass murderer on the police force, and they were absolutely fine with it, especially Amy Klobuchar. Y'all need to get Amy Klobuchar out of office as a senator. She does not need to represent Minnesota at all. She doesn't deserve to represent Minnesota. Her track record is atrocious. So even as far back when she was the DA, this man was doing all kinds of shit even back then, this Derek Chauvin, and she did absolutely nothing to him. And ladies and gentlemen, don't get it twisted. They know who the screwed up cops are. They know. They know who the ones that are off balance on the police squad, the ones that are just bloodthirsty. They know who they are. But see, this is the kind of cop that America wants on the street. Some heartless pig that's willing to kill anyone. That's the kind of police they love in this country. But no, there's nobody should be satisfied until there's a conviction. And we know they tread lightly when it comes down to white males in this country. Even if they convict him, they'll try to give him some little light sentence and then try to act like they've done something. So, to my brothers and sisters up there in Minneapolis, please be safe. But I'm glad y'all are lifting your voices up and speaking out. And you're coming out strong. And I think because so many people are not working right now, ladies and gentlemen, they're able to come out there by the thousands. I was really shocked when I first saw footage of the crowd. I just saw kind of the front of the crowd. When they did an aerial shot with a drone, it blew me back. That crowd had to go down several streets. And I mean, it was a big, strong, packed crowd. You could not see nowhere near the end of this crowd. So they came out strong. They came out strong, ladies and gentlemen. But I got a problem with them having such an issue with arresting these 4 cops right away. Now, I know they've been focusing on Derek Chauvin, but no, all 4 of those cops need to be jailed. Nothing short of that should be acceptable. They all assisted in that murder. Every last one of them had a hand in it. And every single one need to be arrested and charged, because they'll play games by maybe arresting Chauvin and letting the other ones be free. That should never be acceptable. It's got to be all of them. Period. It's no telling how much the other cops have gotten away with since they've been on the squad. And I know, just from looking at other articles, the killing of Black citizens has been an ongoing problem in Minneapolis for a long time. So this is something that was inevitable to happen up there. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.